what's your assessment of the current situation? Where are the opportunities for bipartisan compromise? And if Speaker McCarthy was here, what advice does former Speaker Paul Ryan give him?
He knows what I think. There are two people that I feel really sorry for these days. Aaron Rodgers and Kevin McCarthy. And, you know, yeah, I mean, I know exactly what he's going. He has it worse than I did because he has, you know, this big of a margin. You know what's frustrating about this is I think Kevin did a great deal with President Biden on the debt limit deal. It's a good agreement. It was enforceable spending caps. It had the chance to bring a real workable appropriations process for the first time in a while. And the majority of the Republican conference voted for it. The majority of the Democratic conference voted for it. We're talking about one of those Venn diagram issues. I don't know, 3-4 days later, a minority of the Republican majority, a handful of members on the Freedom Caucus, a caucus I know extremely well, a handful of these members decided to blow it up, to stop the House from operating, bring it to a screeching halt, and in order to turn Congress back on, to do anything, they basically demanded that the House not participate in putting that bill together. And they blew up the appropriations process. Now, predictably, with that blown up appropriations process, we're coming to the end of the fiscal year, and here we are. I have a hard time seeing how he gets out of this without a shutdown. My old governing partner from the other side of the Capitol, Mitch McConnell, has this Kentucky saying, which is, there's no good lesson in the second kick of a mule. So when you shut down the government over and over again, it's just, there's no lesson to be made here. Problem is, more than half of our members were never there for a government shutdown. They're leaning into this. There's a bunch of people who think this is, like, for some reason in their interest. So I fear that that's going to happen. And I don't want to get too technical in all of this, but at the end of the day, I think Speaker McCarthy, like the majority of his conference wants, is going to honor that spending agreement he had with Biden. Unfortunately, those bills were written by the Senate, and the House didn't really get to participate in that. But when those bills are ready, he'll bring them to the floor, and they'll pass with an overwhelming bipartisan vote. But when the Speaker does that, he knows he will do that and blow himself up in the process. Because these members are saying, if you do that, if you do a bipartisan way out of this, we will move to vacate you. Which is frankly how I came to the job with John Boehner. Same guy, did the same thing to Boehner. But they're not offering a solution. So they're saying, if you bring a bipartisan bill to the floor that honors the agreement that a majority of Republicans in the House, in the Senate, and Democrats agreed with, that we minority don't agree with, we're going to blow you up and get you to remove you as Speaker. And they offer no other alternative solution. And they know we can't even pass a bill. The Republicans can't pass a bill, even proposing an alternative. So it's nihilism is what it is. And it's really unfortunate to see, and I think it's just a small handful of members, a handful, and I think they think they win by losing. I think they think they win under any scenario.
Do they? Do they win when they lose?
No, we look like fools. We look like we can't govern. But at the end of the day, I think Kevin, he will bring a bill that honors that agreement, that funds appropriations. We need to rebuild the military. There's a lot of things the military needs right now that they didn't even know about last year. Artificial intelligence. there's a lot I can go on about this. And so I think Kevin will have to endure a motion to vacate vote. Hopefully there's a bipartisan vote for the sake of the institution to support him. I believe there will be. Only from my own conversations with Nancy over the years, I think institutionally, if the Democrats say, let's just participate in kicking a guy out for bringing a bipartisan compromise to the floor, it doesn't speak very well to the institution.